Alright, thank you for joining my channel. My name is Mr. Jake. Today we are going to do OET practice 2. We've already done the cross matching sentence completion, and this time around we are going to do the short phrase or short answers. If you're new on the channel, I encourage you to look for the old videos and watch. This is going to help you to understand what I'm about to do. And this channel has been designed for nurses, midwives, and other healthcare professionals. Okay, so I encourage you, kindly like my videos, subscribe if you are new, share links, and help the channel to grow. Let's move to the whiteboard. Alright, so in part A of your OET reading test, you're always going to have 4 texts: text A, B, C, and D. Now let's study the text. Text A, we have tetanus is a severe disease. Tetanus, sometimes called lockjaw, is a disease. Symptoms of tetanus, okay? Then we have complications, the spatula test. I highlighted these keywords or phrase to help you to understand the nature of this text. It's about a disease or tetanus, so you can label it as a disease. It will help you to answer the following questions. Text B is about tetanus risk. Down here we have a tetanus prone wound is, and all of this is tetanus prone wound. So prone means risk. Then we have greater risk of tetanus. We also have here may not be adequately protected against tetanus. So all what I'm trying to pinpoint is that this text is focused on risk of developing tetanus or prone to tetanus. Okay, so you can label the text as risk. If the question focuses on risk, you can come to this text and get your answer. Text C, tetanus immunization following injuries. So we can see we have a table. In this table we have clean wound, tetanus prone wound. Then we have immunization status. Okay, so here, if the patient is fully immunized, then and the wound is clean, then vaccine not required. If the wound is the tetanus prone wound, then vaccine not required because it is what fully immunized. We have reinforcing dose. We have yes. So you can see that it is in the form of a guide or treatment management. Okay, so in case you are looking for where you've been advised to do the right thing, then I think it is in text C. Text D, our last text, is about human tetanus immunoglobulin. So you can see that we have indications, dose, contraindications, adverse reactions. So when you can give, the amount you can give, why you cannot give, the reactions you should expect. Okay, so this presents information about just one drug or a particular medication or vaccine, HTIG. So if your question is about HTIG, come to this text. All right, so we have questions 14 to 20. Answer each of the questions 14 to 20 with a word or short phrase from one of the text. Each answer may include words, numbers, or both. Question 14. Where will a patient suffering from tetanus first experience muscle contractions? Alright, so let's understand the question carefully. Where? We are looking for a position or part of a body. Okay, so in which part of the body? Where? Alright, so this one too is very important. First experience. This should qualify your answer. Okay, if your muscle contractions, there's no first experience, then your answer is probably wrong. Let's go to the text which contains tetanus, then we look for the answer, and that should be text A. We are in text A because of tetanus in the question. We are now looking for muscle contractions, and we can see muscle contractions over here. So let's read. Painful muscle contractions that begin, so first experience, begin in the jaw. So which part of the body? In the jaw. Question number 15. What can muscle spasms in tetanus patients sometimes lead to? Let's understand the question carefully. We are looking for the end result of muscle spasms or complications, okay? So sometimes lead to the outcome of muscle spasms. So that should be in the form of complications. All right. Because of tetanus, we go to text A again and look for muscle spasms, what it can cause, or the complications or the outcome of muscle spasms. So we are in text A because of tetanus in the question. Then we go to lead to complications, okay? Leads to means complication or the outcome. So let's read. A person may have a fever and sometimes develop abnormal heart rates. Complications include pneumonia, broken bones, into brackets from the muscle spasms. So muscle spasms here will lead to broken bones. Question 16. If you test for tetanus using a spatula, what type of reaction will confirm the condition? So we are looking for type of reaction, okay? So spatula should be a guide for us. We go to the text that contains the condition tetanus. We are in text A because of tetanus in the question. Now we come to the spatula, okay? So we have the spatula test. It's useful. Touching the back of the pharynx with a spatula elicits a bite reflex in tetanus. So what happens when you use spatula? It elicits a bite reflex, okay? The response is what? A bite reflex. Question number 17. How many times will you have to vaccinate a patient who needs a full course of tetanus vaccine? So we are looking for the number of times, okay? So this should be in the form of a figure. However, this should guide you a full course of tetanus vaccine. So we go to the text that contains vaccination or immunization guidelines. Then we look for a full course, the total dose or number of times, okay? We are in text C because we are talking about vaccine. So we are in text C, which contains tetanus immunization following injuries, okay? So treatment guidelines. Alright guys, so when you scan quickly, you can see completion of full 5-dose course. We also have completion of full 5-dose course. So note, has received a total of 5 doses of vaccine at appropriate intervals. So the full 5-dose course is what? 5 doses, okay? Question number 18. What should you give a drug user if you are uncertain of their vaccination history? So we are looking for what you can give to a drug user, okay? So we are still talking about vaccination history. However, if you think this question is not quite clear to go to the right text, you can look in between text B and text C. You can go to text A because text A is about tetanus. We don't have tetanus in this question. Also text D, you cannot go there because we don't have HTIG in this question. So let's go to text B because we are just from text C. Alright, so the question talks about not being sure. So that means the person is at risk, okay? So we are in text B, and under here we look for drug users. So we can see intravenous drug users are at greater risk of tetanus. Every opportunity should be taken to ensure that they are fully protected against tetanus. Booster doses should be given if there is any doubt about their immunization status. So what are we giving? Booster doses. Question number 19. What size of needle should you use to inject HTIG? So guys, we are looking for the size or what size of needle, okay? However, HTIG is a keyword that will take us to the right text, which is text D. Then we look for the size. We are in text D because of HTIG in the question. We are now going to look for a keyword needle, okay? So when it's scanned quickly, you will see needle here. So let's read. Due to its viscosity, HTIG should be administered slowly using a 23 gauge needle. So what size of the needle? 23 gauge. Last question. Question 20. What might a patient who experienced an adverse reaction to HTIG be unable to stop doing? So we are looking for an action, okay? What the patient cannot stop doing. So that thing should be continuous. Unable to stop doing. That should be continuous. And the keyword here is what? HTIG. So we go to the text that contains HTIG, which is text D. Then we look for adverse reaction, okay? So we are in text D because of HTIG. Then we go to adverse reactions, okay? So we have adverse reactions. Let's look at what patients can do continuously. Local reactions. We have pain, erythema, induration, into brackets, Atos type reaction. Then we have general. We have pyrexia, hypotonic, hyporesponsive episode. Then we have persistent crying. So persistent here means continuous crying. Okay, so patient is unable to stop crying. Therefore, we can write crying because we have persistent already. This will help us to avoid repetition. Alright guys, thank you so much for staying with me to the end. We just ended OET reading practice 2, part A. We are going to do more recordings. We're going to study and make the exams much easier. I'm your OET facilitator. My name is Mr. Jake. Bye-bye.